Well, this is brows for the beginner. Are you a beginner doing your brows? Have you ever filled in your brows before? I hadn't for probably up until about a year ago, and then I started filling in my brows, and now it's kind of like I can never go back because they look so good when you fill them in, and it really helps even things out. So I'm going to do just a brow look only today. Obviously, I've not done the rest of my eye makeup, so you're going to see how it looks if you only do your brows. I don't really recommend it unless you don't have like hardly any brows at all. If I wasn't going to put on any eye makeup at all today, I just have on blush, some contour, highlight a little bit, and that's basically it. I don't even have a lip color on yet. If this is how I was going to go out into the world, then I would probably not put too much in my brows because the more you enhance the brow, the more you're going to have to even it out down below. So let's see if we can't find our brow fill here and see what color. You want to do something that is matching, obviously, of your hair color. If you like black brows and you have light hair, then go for it. That's what I say. Go for it, you know? Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. But if you want something that's going to look more natural, then you do need to stick with something that's close to your natural hair color. And does anyone else find themselves digging in their makeup constantly trying to find the one thing they can't find? I do. All right, so I'm going to take a little bit of brow color here. And I always like to start on the tail because you don't want it to be darkest here, you want it to be darkest out here. And then we're going to run up underneath is next. Go underneath, not above first. And you can, but I like to start underneath. This is just how I like to do it. And then you can see right up here where the hairs start coming out, that's where you're going to put the line. If you're wondering like, how far up do I go? Look at where the hairs are just starting to come out of the skin and make that your line. It's good if you have an angle brush that is very thin and tiny. I could probably actually even use one that was even thinner than this. But for now, this is what I'm using. So then I'm going to go right on top where that hairline is, kind of starting midway back and pulling it this way. I'm seeing a little bit of a rogue hair in there that probably needs to be dealt with. And then pull the rest forward. So I didn't start here, I let this be the second part. I started kind of midway through, went backwards, so it kept it more concentrated back here. And then I pulled it a little bit forward. So that way I'm still filling in a little bit here, but I'm trying to make it lighter. I'm also using a lighter touch, and I'm using a little bit heavier touch back there. When you do lighter, it just lets a little bit on versus harder. Versus a harder press, you're going to get more color transfer from your brush or from a pencil if you're using a pencil. Okay. So that kind of gives you an idea. Now, see how that's like, whoa, that is looking like way too much. But because I do a pretty heavy eyeliner most days and I put more eyeshadow on, that's why it doesn't look weird. It looks weird now because see, this is more normal because it's just kind of all a neutral, not much makeup. This is like, whoa, something's happening here, so something needs to happen down here. Does that make sense? So that's why you don't ever want to just do your brows by themselves. And you also want to find, this is called a spoolie, for those who don't know. This is a spoolie. Try to put that somewhere where you can see it. Will it focus on it? There you go. That is a spoolie. And this will help kind of brush it out a little bit if you feel like you got a little bit too dark. I use a kind that is like a smudge proof, but it's not a scrape proof. So I can kind of scrape it a little bit and brush it, at least for the first couple of minutes, and it'll kind of tone it down a little bit if I feel like it got a little too much. And then I can always kind of go back in and add a little. You're kind of adding and experimenting as you go. And I didn't add anything more to the brush itself, so that way I'm not getting it too dark. I'm just using what was on there. So do you see the difference there? This one obviously looks like, whoa, we are going bold with that eyebrow, but it's not going to look bold once I actually put the rest of the makeup on. So again, that's why if you're doing your brows and you don't wear much makeup on your eye, you're going to think it looks weird, because it will look weird. But as soon as you add in the rest of your eye makeup, it's going to come together. And we'll see that on the next video.